like, yeah, you guys don't have it. It's like, thanks, really helpful, really appreciate that one.
Yeah, why would you do that? Why would you bring people in? And look, as I said a moment ago, the reality is this is the difference between going on Fox News and Newsmax and right wing talk radio and putting your hand up and swearing to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me under law. The God thing, okay, sure, maybe they could care about that. But it's the law thing they really care about because they don't want to go to jail. So they're going to tell the truth. And the truth is, there's nothing here.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that you have these people who, John Turley, who appears on Fox all the time. So I think they automatically assumed, oh, he's one of us. He's one of the QAnon people, right? And yet when they ask him, does this reach the requirements for impeachment? And he's like, no. And it's just like, well, I mean, you kind of, it's kind of like the rule for court lawyers, as they say, never ask never ask a witness to testify unless you know what they're going to say.
Yep.
That's pretty much what happened today. Is these folks had no clue what any of these people were going to say. They assumed they did, and they thought that they were going into this and it would just be this beautiful Fox News, nicely packaged show. And it was just a catastrophe.
Yeah, so badly that Fox and Newsmax turned away and went back to their regularly scheduled programming.
That was the best part. I mean, they really gave it a good go for most of the day. I think, like whenever I turned over to see what was on when they were doing the Biden speech, all of the networks were doing the Biden speech except for Fox. They were showing the committee hearing, and so it's like, okay, well, they're not going to show Biden, but they will show the train wreck. So there you go.
No, and look, I hope that all of the MAGA hats, I hope all the red hats saw the nothing that was there, the embarrassment that was this hearing, because it really was embarrassing. There was literally nothing other than innuendo and unsubstantiated allegations.
Or it's lies, true. It seems like one of the Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is I really wish we could get to a point where we just call people lying liars who lie and stop sort of, shifting around it. But today, basically, the Republicans were like, well, guys, there was this dude who, had a friend who was in the Chinese Communist Party, and he had a sister who went out with Biden 75 years ago, and then they had she had a daughter from another marriage who served him a soda once at a diner. And it's just like, what? Like, really? And I do this every day, right? Like, I read this stuff all the time, and I was like, wait, what? Where are you going?
Nowhere.
And so I think that's one of the reasons that Republicans were just like, yeah, no, we screwed up. This is a complete catastrophe. And most of them admitted it, and the leadership is furious. And meanwhile, we talked to one of the Democrats, Representative Stevens from Michigan. We're like, hey, did you watch the hearing? What happened today? And she was like, you guys, I was just trying to avoid the shutdown. We're working so hard, trying to figure this thing out behind the scenes and make this work because people are about to not get paid. Yeah. And we're trying our hardest to stop this.
And that's the message tomorrow. So that's the message going forward here. The message is look, in the hours that we had left before a shutdown, look what they did. And what they've shown us is they don't work well with others or themselves. I mean, that's the weird part in all this. They cannot seem to figure out how to work with anyone, let alone themselves.
Definitely. And then you have people like the Problem Solvers Caucus who are showing up on Tapper's show who are like, oh, we're trying to come to an agreement. It's like, oh, I have an agreement for you. How about 5 of you just decide to move over and support truth and reality and say that you'll support the government agreement, or even the CR at this point, right? Like, even the Senate Republicans are like, please, for the love of God, give us a continuing resolution.
Yeah.
And, that's just, I don't understand why that is not a solvable solution to the problem solvers.
Well, because you've got too many of the kook caucus, the Scott Perrys of the world, who want their pound of flesh, they want their pain and misery, and they want to punish poor people and working people because that's who they are, and they're not going to move. And you've got leadership, Kevin McCarthy, who sold his soul to be speaker, and is just one guy away from being ousted. So there's going to be no compromise on that side of the aisle that would bring Democrats around to be able to support something.
I think it would be super interesting if McCarthy just said, yeah, fine, screw it, vote to remove me from the chair, and made a deal with the Democrats and basically said, okay, I got 5, 6, 10 Republicans who are willing to be
Never
rational, and we're just going to make it work.
Never happened.
And then they would vote to put him back in the chair.
Never happened because he would then get the ire of the kook caucus and all of the red hats who come along with that.
It's true. It really is true. And he has to choose between his own ego and saving the country. And I think we know which one he's going to choose.
No, he's going to choose the power over over doing what's right. But I did find it interesting that Representative Greg Casser of Texas, asked all the people on the oversight committee, raise your hand if you believe that both Hunter and Trump should be held accountable if there are any indictments if they're convicted, and not one Republican raised their hand.
Half of them were out of the room, and more than half of them. That's the crazy thing, is that a whole bunch of those Republicans didn't even show up today. And that was a genius move, because that was the picture, right?
Yeah.
That was the one piece of data that we can show where it's like, even Democrats say, you know what, Donald Trump deserves a fair trial, just like Hunter Biden does. And even Republicans can't say that. It's so funny.
No, I had someone ask me, because we were talking about Trump's indictments. You go, well, what about Hunter Biden? I go, if he's guilty, he goes to jail. How hard is that?
Yeah.
Same thing. Well, what about Menendez? Same thing. If he's guilty, he goes to jail. I don't understand how hard that is. I mean, if I break the law, I'm going to jail.
Yeah, it turns out, people like us, we don't get away with stuff.
No, we sure.
I wasn't here with you last week, but the Lauren Boebert thing. My question with her is, what was she smoking in that vape pen, right? Because Hunter Biden was lying on a form for saying, for getting a gun because he was using drugs. Well, if Lauren Boebert is using drugs, she sure has a whole lot of guns.
Yeah, she does.
So why is that not equal?
Well, you could argue she wasn't doing it while lying on the form.
That is true, but she was still using.
Yeah, well, I got more problems with her than that. But you did jog my memory of what I wanted to talk about with you last week, and then much to my brain deadness, you weren't here. Project Syphilis went under.
Yes, it did.
And I thought of you when I saw that, and I'm like, there's got to be no one happier than my good friend Sarah Burris to see Project Syphilis, Project Veritas, whatever, to see them go down.
And what's funny is, when that news broke, it's like my phone just blew up with people being like, oh my God, did you see? Because it really is. It's like, wow, all of these people who tried to scare the heck out of me and follow me and stalk me and jump out at me, and like, it's finally like, okay, well, at least they're out of a job. The sad thing is that I'm going to assume that there's going to be some other organization that pops up.
It'll be worse.
I think what's his name is already hooked up with Charlie Kirk. So, it's going to be another well-funded operation where they do sketchy stuff, but they've been so useless since they had the Acorn scandal, and that's really it. That's all they got. Everything else that they have tried to do has failed so horribly.
Yep.
And I think as a donor, you got to ask yourself, why am I giving money to this?
Just to cause trouble. Look, the right understands it. Richard Mellon Scaife gave one of the Pittsburgh newspapers, what was it, a couple $1 million a year just to go cause trouble, and that kept them in right-wing craziness for years. You're listening to the Rick Smith Show with Sarah Burris. Sarah's a reporter at Raw Story. If you want to check out her work, rawstory.com, the website where you can find that. I got to get your thoughts on Tommy Tuberville. Yes, the dumbest guy in the Senate. And yes, I'm going to continue to say that because I still think he's the dumbest guy in the Senate. But he said that, and I quote, "There is nobody up here more military than me," while sitting on the same platform as Senator Mark Kelly and Senator Tammy Duckworth. Thoughts? Let's go there.
I think this is Tommy Tuberville has done the most incredible thing in American history, and that is bring the military together with the Democrats. He has completely destroyed the relationship between the military and Republicans. Every time Republicans allow this to continue, it's just, looping in his campaign into their party, and they're just, I don't understand why they're allowing it to happen. And the only thing that I can think is maybe McConnell really has lost his mind, because if McConnell had his wits about him, he'd be like, sit down, shut up. Like, that was the old McConnell. The old McConnell ran things like an iron fist, and now it's just like he's letting Tuberville run roughshod all over everything. So, it's just the weirdest thing ever. But hey, again, Republicans want to shut down the government, and that means not paying a whole bunch of soldiers, not paying a lot of people who are fighting our wars and defending our country and working at the Pentagon. One of the things that they demand on the shutdown agreement list is they want to defund the FBI.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we're going to defund the police, and while we're waiting for it, we're going to stop paying soldiers. We're going to stop taking care of veterans. It's like, what is wrong with you people? Like, have you really lost your minds?
Yes.
And yes, they have.
Yeah. Now, I do think Tammy Duckworth had a really good response to this. She tweeted out, quote, no one is more military than me, says a man who has never served a day in his life in a room with several actual veterans. Is he serious? And yeah, he actually is. That's how far off the beaten path these folks are.
You gotta wonder how many times that guy's been hit in the head, because
obviously not enough.
Yeah, that's just not rational.
Obviously not enough. Lastly, I got to get to your thoughts on Biden went to Michigan, walked on the picket line, historic, first time president's ever done that. And then Trump followed the day after and had a bunch of fraudulent union members and fraudulent workers put on a skit, for a little bit of reality TV for America. Any thoughts on the two?
That is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I mean, as somebody who used to work in unions, like, watching your president walk a picket line is like the most heartening thing ever. It's just like, yes, finally we have a president who cares about workers. And that is the most perfect contrast, I think, is to Donald Trump, who couldn't even get the non-union workers to show up. They got a couple of them, but they still couldn't fill the room with the non-union workers. Most of them were just like, yeah, no, I'm out. I'm good. I'm not going to come. And so they had a packet with a bunch of his just regular everyday supporters waving signs, pretending like they're in a union, pretending like they're working in the auto industry. And it's just like, wow, that is the biggest lie I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was remarkable, because I was looking at the crowd and I'm going, there is no way that woman works on an assembly line. There's no way that guy is anywhere near an assembly line. And you're going through this going, none of these people work for a living.
Yep. And I mean, you could tell by the clothes they were wearing, you could tell just the way that they behaved. Like, union people are so normal, like they're just like us, and these people were very uppity and you're just like, nope, not human.
Yeah, I know. But for me, what the interesting part was is, look, it was a fraud is what we saw. And for a guy who, to be quite honest, got the death penalty in New York for the Trump organization because of fraud, I don't know that you commit more fraud.
That's Donald Trump right there. It is double down on everything yeah, there's nothing else to double down on.
Double down on the fraud. I know I said last thing, but Gungate. Did he buy a gun?
No. His campaign said that he didn't. I would not be surprised if he had somebody else buy the gun for him, or the gun shop owner gave it to him.
That's where I'm going. There's no way he bought anything. For
No,
Trump,
he
a
didn't
mob
pay for
wannabe
that.
guy, everything's on the arm. He's not digging into his pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Sarah, I appreciate the time. Always fun, always entertaining. Thanks so much.
Have a good day tomorrow.
You as well, our good friend Sarah Burris. Make sure you check out her work. Rawstory.com is where you find that. Quick break, right back after this. Stick around. You're listening to The Rick Smith Show.
The phone lines are open. Give Rick a call at 1-866-416-RICK. That's 1-866-416-7425.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. Would you be willing to stand up in solidarity with your fellow workers, even if it cost you your job? Well, on this day in labor history, the workers at Mersey Docks and Harbour Company in Liverpool, England, answered that question. The year was 1995. 329 Mersey dock workers refused to cross a picket line that was being walked against another company on the docks. The workers at Torside had been fired for protesting against erosions in job security and increasingly unpredictable scheduling. They were speaking out against the casualization of their labor. When the Mersey dock workers would not cross the Torside picket line, they too were fired. Dock workers across the world stood up in solidarity with the Mersey workers against this unjust treatment. They knew if it could happen in Liverpool, it might happen anywhere. Pickets sprung up from Norway to Japan, from Australia to Italy, and into the United States. It was a global outpouring of solidarity. The strike wore on for 850 days. 1 year into the strike, dock workers held an international day of action in support of the Liverpool workers. Finally, 2.5 years after they were fired, the dock workers agreed to a settlement. They did not get their jobs back, but they did get severance pay. A film was made about the struggle. The proceeds were used to purchase a bar in Liverpool. It is known as the Dockers Pub and has become a space for working class organizing. The International Dock Workers Council was also born from this strike. Today, the council has 90,000 members, a lasting movement of solidarity. 20 years after the strike, dock workers from across the world gathered in Liverpool to remember the struggle. Labor History in 2 brought to you by the Illinois Labor History Society and The Rick Smith Show.
You're listening to The Rick Smith Show, where working people come to talk.
I got to tell you, one of my favorite moments from the hearing. Now, understand, half the people didn't bother showing up because I don't think they wanted to be part of this charade. They're on board. Hey, we got to go after Biden. We got to make it look like like he did something because we got to make dear leader happy. But Chuck Edwards, the Republican representative from North Carolina's 11th congressional district, wow. And I got to just play. I got to play Chuck trying to get his. He's trying. Hey, look, he's trying, and that's. I guess that's all we can ask for is for Chuck just to try.
Kenneth Rakishev is a Kazakhstani oligarch who was a director at Kazakhstan's state-owned oil company. Importantly, Rakishev maintains ties to Karim Mazamov.
So, I mean, when you listen to that, you go, is he just, he can't say oligarch? I mean, seriously, can't say oligarch? And did he not practice this speech before he went on? Or the internet thinks he was bombed. And I guess, this would be an entertaining way to spend this ridiculous, nonsensical day in a hearing. You might as well be be 3 sheets to the wind. Have a couple of cocktails, take the edge off. Because that's the only way I think I could get through it without losing my mind. which is what some folks did, and the internet got all crazy about a couple of people who yelled and screamed. But at the end of the day, who should be yelling and screaming? You and me, us, because they are going to shut our government down, and that means millions of people are going to be affected. Millions of people are going to be negatively affected. In fact, you had one representative, in fact, Summer Lee, a representative here from Pennsylvania, who went through, each of the people on that committee's districts and said, they're going to be, 4,000 people from this person's district, 5,000 people from this person's district who are not going to get paychecks because of the actions that are not being taken right now, because of the wasted time of sitting in a ridiculous impeachment inquiry. But understand, this isn't about getting Biden out. It's not. It's about angering the base. And what was said a minute ago by Sarah Burris is actually pretty interesting. She said, you watched it and, they presented it like everyone was in on all the conspiracies. And that's because this wasn't for us. This wasn't for normal reasoning Americans. This wasn't for logical Americans. This wasn't for people who aren't in the Q-kook, MAGA hat, red hat wearing crowd. This was for those people. This was for the people who drank the Kool-Aid, and, a lot of it. This was kind of their Super Bowl, so that they could come back, and I had it happen. They could come back and say, Biden's being impeached. And I had to then remind them that, no, he's not being impeached. This is an inquiry. Even their witnesses are saying, no, this isn't an impeachment. There's no evidence for an impeachment. This is an inquiry. We're going to go digging for stuff. Now, how do you think the right would have acted had, I don't know, the Democrats said, we don't have anything on Trump, but we do want to dig into all of his business records and all of the shady dealings that everyone knew he was doing, and he is now being held accountable for. But did it back, when he took office. How do you think the right would have responded? They'd have lost their minds. But that isn't what Trump was impeached for. Trump was impeached for that perfect phone call of telling Zelensky, no, we just need you to say that you're looking into something. We'll take it from there. We just need some dirt on that Biden guy. And then, of course, January 6th. Inciting violence and attempting to, overthrow our democracy and, undo, a couple hundred years of peaceful transitions of power. Yeah, just little things like that. Little things. Quick break, right back.
Pray for rain. But we're gonna do everything we can to make sure that we're bringing every resource to bear that is reasonably necessary to help us deal with this challenge.
New Orleans declares emergency over saltwater intrusion in drinking water. Fracking operations are, quote, devouring America's groundwater amid persistent drought. Plus,
well, there's huge risk. No money, no recovery.
Republicans' government shutdown will suspend critical operations like FEMA disaster recovery.
I'm sure it'll all be fine. That story and more straight ahead from BradBlog.com. I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
Stand by for 6 minutes of independent green news, politics, analysis, and snarky comment.
Climate change is real. We got to do something about it.
Yeah, this one's called autumn, sir. So,
I'm sorry?
This one.
Are you underpaid and overworked? Is a living wage and employee benefits like affordable health care more of a dream than a reality for you and your family? If so, it's time to form a union. Don't be denied the wages and benefits you deserve. Come together in a union with the power of numbers. A union is not a privilege, it's your right, and it will make a difference. Contact Teamsters Local 1932, a powerful and successful labor union in San Bernardino, by visiting Teamsters1932.org/organize to start today.
One of the best ways to build a healthier local economy is by shopping locally. Teamster Advantage is a shop local program started by Teamster Local 1932 that has brought together hundreds of locally owned businesses to provide discounts for residents who make shopping locally their priority. Everything from restaurants like Corky's to fun times at SB Raceway and much, much more. If you're not currently a Teamster and you want access to these local business discounts, contact Jennifer at 909-889-8888 8377, extension 224. Give her a call. That number again is 909 889 8377, extension 224.
Labor unions built the middle class, and the middle class built America. That's the message from Teamsters Local 1932, a strong and successful labor union based in San Bernardino that represents over 14,000 hardworking people across the Inland Empire. The Teamsters are ready to help you organize for better pay, increased benefits, and improved working conditions. Reach out to Teamsters 1932 at teamsters1932.org/organize to speak with an organizer today.
Located in the heart of San Bernardino, California, the Teamsters Local 1932 Training Center is designed to train workers for high-demand, good-paying jobs in various industries throughout the Inland Empire. If you want a pathway to a high-paying job and the respect that comes with a union contract, visit 1932trainingcenter.org to enroll today. That's 1932trainingcenter.org.
KCAA Loma Linda. The Legacy KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Taylor. Longtime Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein has passed away at the age of 90. Her political career reached the national spotlight in 1978 when she became San Francisco's first ever woman mayor. In 1992, she became the first female U.S. Senator in the state of California. Michael Kastner has more.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is honoring the late Feinstein while speaking on the floor this morning. Schumer called Feinstein one of the most amazing people to ever grace the Senate and the country.
Dianne didn't just push down doors that were closed for women. She held them open for generations of women after her to follow her.
He praised her work on gun control, women's issues, and climate change. He said she was smart, strong, but most of all had amazing integrity. An emotional Senate Republican Minority Leader Mitch McConnell also praised his late friend. At the White House, correspondent Ali Rafa with a statement from President Biden.
Dianne made her mark on everything from national security to the environment to protecting civil liberties. She's made history in so many ways, and our country will benefit from her legacy for generations.
I'm Michael Kastner.
The United Auto Workers are once again expanding their strike. UAW President Shawn Fain said his announcement was delayed Friday morning after a flurry of activity and said Stellantis made big progress moments before he began speaking. However, Fain called for 7,000 workers at GM and Ford plants to go on strike. Jimmy Carter's 99th birthday celebrations being moved up to avoid a government shutdown. Carter's the oldest living former U.S. president and will turn 99 years old on Sunday, October 1st. A birthday celebration was planned for the day at the Jimmy Carter Library and Museum in Atlanta, but those plans have been moved up in case the government shuts down Saturday night. Half of shoppers plan to begin their holiday shopping by Halloween this year, according to a recent Bankrate report. Retail Me Not found as many as 64% of shoppers are kicking off the season in October, up from 53% last year. You're listening to the latest on NBC News Radio.
It's a bird!
It's a plane!
No, it's Super Roth!
Okay, a gimmicky opening for a commercial about Super Roth Universal Life Insurance, but I'm sure it got your attention. Now, what is a Super Roth, you ask? It's a permanent indexed universal life insurance that's totally liquid and easily accessible once it matures. Can be used to supplement retirement savings or a death benefit, or both. Has no income or contribution limit. Has no 5-year rule like Roth IRAs. Has no 10% penalty for accessing the funds before age 59 and a half. Oh, and the average historical returns are 5 to 7% annually, tax-free. Super Roths also lock in gains, which means you don't lose your money when the market is down. Sounds incredible, right? Sounds super? Super Roths are the way of the future, specifically your future. To see if you qualify for a Super Roth, go online to thesuperroth.com.
The benefits of adding a Ritchie to your operation extend far beyond saving you time, money, and water. By choosing Ritchie, you'll conserve water, protect the land, reduce energy, and promote a healthier environment for generations to come. Because we know, like you know, that every saved drop matters. Start a ripple effect of sustainability today by visiting ritchiefount.com/sustainability.
More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio each month for news, weather, and emergency information. A new bill in Congress would make sure AM radio remains in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Announcing the grand opening of the brand new Habitat for Humanity Restore in Redlands. What is Restore? It's a home improvement store and retail center that sells donated furniture, home accessories, building materials, and appliances at a fraction of the retail price. Habitat for Humanity uses funds raised by its restores to help deserving families build, rehabilitate, and repair their homes. You'll find unique and high-quality items such as furniture from major retailers, HVAC filters, canister lighting, and more. Habitat Restores rely on generous donations to help them create home ownership opportunities. The new Restore is located at 1392 Industrial Park Avenue in Redlands. Restore is open Wednesdays through Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Restore in Redlands, restoring lives.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
KCAA.
You're listening to the Tahibo Tea Club radio show, hosted by Milan Vukovic, founder of the Tahibo Tea Club.
Welcome to the Tahibo Tea Club radio hour. My name is Milan Vukovic. I'm the founder of the Tahibo Tea Club. Without my father, John Vukovic, there would be no Tahibo Tea Club. My father was diagnosed with colon cancer that had spread to the pancreas in 1998 at the age of 86. He started receiving treatment at the Houston Medical Center, which is the biggest medical center in the world, bigger than Boston. Because the size of the tumor on my father's pancreas was the size of a half a brick, I was told that there wasn't anything they could do for my father, and that I needed to put my father's affairs in order since he had about 2 months to live. So, of course, I started planning a funeral. I called our friends and family and told them how grave the situation was, and told them that if they wanted to see Dad, they only had a couple of months, and they might want to do so now. One of the families that came to pay their last respects to my father came and brought Tahibo tea with them. They said Tahibo tea cured their brother from cancer. I looked at them incredulous, as if they were Martians or something. I mean, my dad was getting treated at the Houston Medical Center, and no one was saying anything other than to plan a funeral, and these people were telling me that the tea's going to cure my dad? But of course, I was polite to the people since they came to pay their respects. In any event, after they left, I cooked up the tea, and my father figured if he had 2 months to live, what's the difference if he's drinking the tea or water? He has to drink something anyway. So he's drinking the tea, and 2 months later, when they put him on a CAT scan machine, they thought their CAT scan machine was broken because they couldn't find a tumor on his pancreas that used to be the size of a half a brick. So they said to my father, you know, the hospital right next door here at the medical center also has a CAT scan machine. Since you already drank the contrast dye, we'll phone them and you can walk over and they'll take a picture so you don't have to come back and do it all over again next week when we get our machine fixed. So my father walked next door, they took a picture, they couldn't find any cancer either. My father is now 86 years old. He's been cancer-free for over 20 years. And not only is he cancer-free, he's in such good health, he takes care of my garden and even mows my lawn. I mean, I'd be embarrassed about it if he didn't enjoy doing it, and I know it's good for him. Our customers always get a kick out of it when they ask me how my dad's doing, and I tell them as long as he's mowing my lawn, he must be doing pretty good. The tea's certainly been a blessing in my family's life, and God willing, our tea will have the same benefits for you, your family and friends, as it has for mine and so many others. Not a week goes by that someone doesn't call in with a truly miraculous recovery. Bone cancer, brain cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, mesothelioma, leukemia, diabetes, you name it. And not a day goes by that someone doesn't call in with some type of a success, whether it's just beating toenail fungus. Well, toenail fungus may not be imminently life-threatening, but if you have it, you don't like it. The Tahibo tree is an amazing tree. It never gets sick, never gets infected, and never gets infested. As a result, the highest potency Tahibo comes from the inner bark of the tree where the arterial and vein system, called the xylem and the phloem, in the tree reside, which brings nutrients to the rest of the tree. And that's why we only harvest mature trees over 40 years old in the rainforest of Brazil. The harvest method we use is to semi-strip some outer bark to get to the inner bark without cutting down the tree and allowing the tree to heal itself so they can be harvested again. It's also the only tree in the world the fungus doesn't grow on. So as a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. These benefits go a long way to helping our immune system contend with a lot of things it normally has to contend with on a daily basis. Parasites would be something like stomach problems. Inflammation would be something like rheumatoid arthritis. Infection would be any infection from a tooth infection to a bladder infection. Viral would be something like herpes. Bacteria would be something like gum disease or stomach bacteria. And fungus would be something like toenail fungus or candida. But maybe more importantly, what the tea does is build the red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. Our immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die on oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps regenerate new cells. Everything from the cells in our skin so we look better to the cells in our organs so they function properly. And it can truly be miraculous for somebody fighting a potentially life-threatening disease such as diabetes or cancer. In future programs, we'll discuss Tahibo tea versus AIDS, anemia, arthritis, asthma, bronchitis, other types of cancers, colitis, diabetes, diverticulitis, eczema, fungus, gastritis, gonorrhea, gout, HIV, impotence, infections, leukemia, lupus, Parkinson's, prostatitis, pyorrhea, rheumatism, ringworm, ulcers, virus, and yeast infections. One time a customer asked me, he says, boy, it sounds like the tea helps with everything. It does really help with a lot of different things, but for some things, for example, with the bones, calcium helps with the bones. The Tahibo helps with a lot of different things, but you need some other things also for a healthy diet. I'd like to talk a little about the proper preparation directions for Tahibo tea to be effective. Even though we call it tea, what you're actually preparing when you make it properly is a decoction. A decoction is just a fancy word for what our forefathers used to make when they used to take a root and cook it in order to release its beneficial properties. It's easy, but you don't steep it in hot water like regular leaf tea, but rather cook it like spaghetti. I'll tell you how easy it is to make just so you don't think you'll need a degree in physics, but you don't have to remember any of this because the directions, of course, are on the packages as well as in the literature you automatically receive with your order. You take a pot of water, bring it to a boil. Once the water is boiling, you toss in a tablespoon of tea for every 2 cups of boiling water. Cook it on high for 5 minutes, reduce the heat, and cook on simmer for an additional 15 minutes.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TaheeboTeaClub.com. Taheebo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com.
Welcome back to the Taheebo Tea Club radio show. Now, this next segment is a segment with live listener call-ins from previous shows, and you'll be hearing their questions, their successes, and their experiences with Taheebo tea. So please do give us a call and let us know how the tea works for you. Thank you.
Howdy, I'm interested in trying out the tea. Sounds pretty interesting. Keep hearing the commercials about it.
Oh, absolutely. 1-pound package of tea will make you a lot of tea. It'll make you 300 8-ounce cups or glasses of tea. So even if you drink it like water, 8 glasses a day, it will still literally last you 5 weeks. Now, in terms of the dosage, I get the question quite a bit, how much tea should I drink? The more the better. But at a minimum, a person wants to drink it regularly, meaning 2-3 glasses a day, which is great for a stewardess who doesn't want to catch a cold but once every 5 or 10 years. On the other hand, if you're trying to get rid of something, let's say you're trying to get rid of an infection or diabetes or something life-threatening like cancer, well, you need to get rid of it before it gets rid of you. So it's a race. At that point, you do need to drink 8 glasses a day or more. One time I got a call from a man in Phoenix, and he says to me, he says, I don't know if you remember speaking to me 4 months ago. He says, but I had prostate cancer that was aggressively metastasized through my whole body, my bones, everywhere. And you told me to drink a minimum of 8 glasses a day or as much as I could humanly stand. So I literally took that to heart. And I was drinking a gallon a day, which is 16 glasses a day. I was drinking so much of your tea that sometimes I was drinking and having to go pee at the same time. But I'll tell you what, in 4 months, I don't have cancer anymore. Now, is there any particular concern that you're looking to address with the tea, or are you just looking to drink the tea for health maintenance?
Yeah, so I'm looking for just more or less just general health. And
you're not getting any younger is what you're telling me.
You got it right.
Well, the tea does all of that. The tea builds the red corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. And our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves, while the immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die on oxygen. So you don't have to be fighting a life-threatening disease in order to drink the tea. As a matter of fact, in our system, we don't keep track of people's credit cards or debit cards for security purposes. The only thing we keep track of is their name and address, because we want to make certain that they get the tea, and then the tracking number that's associated with the shipping. Other than that, we don't keep any other information. So when people do want to reorder, they have to call us and say, I want to buy a pound or 4 pounds or 8 pounds or whatever they want to buy. And this one lady from San Diego calls in, and I happen to be answering the phone, and I look her up, and I noticed she'd been a customer of like 6-7 years, right? And I said to her, can you tell me the primary reason that you're drinking the tea? She says, yes. She says, with every order, you automatically include informational literature, and in those booklets that you automatically include, when you open it up, where a staple page is like a sandwich, she says, you get about 30 things listed that the tea is good against. And I go, yeah. She said, I don't want to get any of those. I'm 79 years old. I look like I'm 60. I don't take one pill, and that's the one I want to keep it. And I go, well, good for you. God bless you, So our tea, and you'll certainly see the tea working. Like in 2 to 3 days, you're going to start feeling a wellness that you haven't felt before. You know, it's kind of like if all of a sudden you started working out or something like that, you know, except without the pain. When you start to work out, you get the pain. With our tea, you don't get the pain. You just get the beneficial properties of it. So we have a lot of famous athletes that drink our tea because they want faster muscle recovery. A lot of famous movie stars that drink it, a lot of famous singers that drink it, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're in radical shape. They just, you know, want to make sure their skin looks good, that, you know, they don't get sick and all that kind of good stuff. And then, of course, we have a lot of people that drink it because they have serious health ailments, and, you know, they drink it because they want to get better, and oftentimes conventional medicine has not helped them. So, you know, that's why they drink it. Now, is there anything else on your mind or any other concerns that you have?
I think the benefits list sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, to not build up lactic acid, it must have some amino acids or something in it, long-chain amino acids.
Yeah,
that help with recovery.
Yeah, it's got 20 active elements in it that work synergistically. And that's actually a problem for the pharmaceutical companies because they'd have made a drug out of it already, because this tea's been around for over 1,000 years. It's not like it's brand new. They'd have made a drug out of it, but their problem is when they isolate the elements, they don't work properly like they do when they work synergistically. And, you know, of course, you know, with our tea, you know, 1 pound making 300 cups, it costs like 16 cents a glass to make. Well, you know, a pharmaceutical company is not going to make something that costs 16 cents a dose. I mean, if anything, they're going to make something that costs $1,600 a dose. Not only that, I mean, these days it's ridiculous. The chemo treatments start at 30,000 and then go upwards of 100,000. It's just absolutely insane. So a lot of times people ask me, well, you know, why don't the pharmaceutical companies use it? I go, seriously? They already got a gold mine. They're pushing chemo on everybody at, you know, $100,000 a trip. They're not going to be able to sell tea for $100,000 you know, a treatment. So that's why. So yeah, it's got a lot of beneficial properties. And what's funny is that people oftentimes will buy the tea for one particular concern that they have, whether they have rheumatoid arthritis or they have an infection or whatever it is that they have. And then they'll call me back and go, oh my God, it also cleared up my toenail fungus. I can't believe it did that. And, you know, then we have to tell them, well, of course, our tea comes from the only tree in the world fungus doesn't grow on. So, of course, it's going to clear up your toenail fungus. That's like the first thing it's going to do. They go, oh my God, I've had it for 15 years, and this is the first time my toes look good. Now my toes are the only beautiful thing on my body. And I go, okay, well, great, you know. And so, yeah, so you're absolutely right. I mean, it helps with a lot of different things. And then please stay in touch and give us a call back, because the only way we can help more people is to hear back from your experience.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1 pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
Yeah, sounds good, buddy. One thing that came to mind was that you said that pharmaceuticals had a difficult time isolating. Yeah, I've seen that type of thing before. Like, sometimes I have chronic fatigue or something, and like a shot of espresso does work. You know, it works really well because it's like the caffeine plus the supporting compounds that are in the coffee. Whereas just like isolated caffeine pills, or even like chelated caffeine pills to drag out the caffeine, make it last longer, it doesn't work like just a shot of espresso. So the supporting compounds that you would get from the tea, it would be probably highly beneficial and make it actually work, whereas isolated compounds don't have what they need.
No, you're exactly correct. And not only that, you just reminded me, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching the European qualifiers for soccer, and they were playing. Italy was playing a game, and you won't believe this. They had an espresso machine on their bench, and I'm thinking, oh wow, that's really fantastic. You know what I mean? So like at during the breaks or at halftime or whatever, you can just have an espresso if you play for the Italian team. I go, good for them.
It's amazing how well it works. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking myself, pretty smart. I mean, these people are drinking, Gatorade or water or whatever they're drinking, and these guys got shots of espresso. Whoa, man! I want to play for the Italian team. Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Sounds great, man. Will do. I'll keep in touch.
All right. Our tea is absolutely fantastic against infections of all types, from tooth infections to bladder infections. With infections, for example, a tooth infection you can get rid of faster than you can with penicillin. You can get rid of a tooth infection in a week to 10 days. Let's say your mouth is throbbing like you see in the cartoons. You take a drink of the tea, hold it in your mouth for about 2 minutes, and the pain will immediately go away. You can't even get rid of the pain that quickly with a Vicodin. Now, if you stop drinking the tea at that point, you haven't knocked out enough bacteria, so the pain will come back in about 30 minutes. If you take about 1 glass an hour for about 4 hours, you'll completely get rid of the pain, but you still haven't knocked out enough bacteria. So if at that point you stop drinking, the pain will come back in about 3 days. So you need to continuously drink the tea for at least 1 week in order to get rid of the pain that's associated with the bacteria, and get rid of the bacteria, just like when you go to a dentist and they say, here's the penicillin, take 2 a day. Even though you'll feel great in a day, you have to drink it for 10 days or so in order to completely knock out the bacteria. Good morning, listener. You're live on the air with Milan Vukovic. Go ahead, please.
Good day. I actually got some Tahibo tea about, I want to say 3-4 months ago, and I bought 4 pounds of it, kind of a lot for an experiment.
Yep.
But I have a friend that was having he's had some chronic, like joint pain and just physical stuff. She walks with a cane, doesn't stand well and everything.
Right.
So, wanted to introduce her to the tea, but obviously she's So
right.
I was wondering, where could she get like the live stream to listen to you, or some old archives, or some other video stuff to get her information on the tea and the possible benefits that she can get?
Yeah, we're on virtually every streaming platform that there is, from Spotify Radio to Alexa to iHeartRadio. One of the easiest ones, if a person is not using a streaming platform right now, is iHeartRadio. You can either download the app on a cell phone, or you can go to a computer and just type in iHeart.com. And once you're on iHeart's app or the computer, all you have to do is type in Taheebo in the search engine, TAHEEBO, and it'll play you one of our archive shows. As a matter of fact, there's like, you know, hundreds of archive shows, and we're actually working on new ones to upload that'll be just completely different. But nonetheless, the ones that are on there right now are good as well, and she'll be able to listen to our radio shows. And all she has to do is in iHeartRadio type in Taheebo, and that's it. Now, for more information about Taheebo Tea or to order, visit our website, TaheeboTeaClub.com. The first word is Taheebo, spelled T-A-H-E-E-B-O. The second word is tea, spelled T-E-A. The third word is club, spelled C-L-U-B, then .com. So the complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com. That's TaheeboTeaClub.com. Or call us at our offices in Los Angeles.
Taheebo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TaheeboTeaClub.com. Taheebo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com. Taheebo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TaheeboTeaClub.com. Taheebo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com.
You're listening to the Taheebo Tea Club radio show, hosted by Milan Vukovic, founder of the Taheebo Tea Club.
And included in the package, there will be informational literature that'll tell you all about the beneficial properties of the tea. And if you ever need any more of the informational literature that your friends or relatives are interested in, all you have to do is call our office and say, hey, listen, I need 10 or 20 booklets or whatever it is. Can you send them to me? And they certainly will. I got a call from a guy up in San Francisco one day, and he says, you know those booklets that you automatically include with every order? I go, yeah. He goes, well, he says, could I buy some? I said, you don't have to buy them. We print them for informational purposes. He says, you don't understand. I was literally on my deathbed with cancer, he goes, and he says, now I'm completely recovered just by drinking your tea, and everybody at my church wants to know what happened, and I need like 800 of them. I says, no sweat, man. We'll send you 1,000.
Not a week goes by that someone doesn't call in with a truly miraculous recovery. Bone cancer, brain cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, mesothelioma, leukemia, diabetes, you name it. And not a day goes by that someone doesn't call in with some type of a success, whether it's just beating toenail fungus. Well, toenail fungus may not be imminently life-threatening, but if you have it, you don't like it. The Tahibo tree is an amazing tree. It never gets sick, never gets infected, and never gets infested. As a result, the highest potency Tahibo comes from the inner bark of the tree, where the arterial and vein system, called the xylem and the phloem, in the tree reside, which brings nutrients to the rest of the tree. And that's why we only harvest mature trees over 40 years old in the rainforest of Brazil. The harvest method we use is to semi-strip some outer bark to get to the inner bark without cutting down the tree and allowing the tree to heal itself so they can be harvested again. It's also the only tree in the world the fungus doesn't grow on. So as a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. These benefits go a long way to helping our immune system contend with a lot of things it normally has to contend with on a daily basis. Parasites would be something like stomach problems. Inflammation would be something like rheumatoid arthritis. Infection would be any infection from a tooth infection to a bladder infection. Viral would be something like herpes. Bacteria would be something like gum disease or stomach bacteria. And fungus would be something like toenail fungus or candida. But maybe more importantly, what the tea does is build the red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. Our immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps regenerate new cells. Everything from the cells in our skin so we look better to the cells in our organs so they function properly. And it can truly be miraculous for somebody fighting a potentially life-threatening disease such as diabetes or cancer. In future programs, we'll discuss Tahibo tea versus AIDS, anemia, arthritis, asthma, bronchitis, other types of cancers, colitis, diabetes, diverticulitis, eczema, fungus, gastritis, gonorrhea, gout, HIV, impotence, infections, leukemia, lupus, Parkinson's, prostatitis, pyorrhea, rheumatism, ringworm, ulcers, virus, and yeast infections. One time a customer asked me, he said, boy, it sounds like the tea helps with everything. It does really help with a lot of different things, but for some things, for example, with the bones, calcium helps with the bones. The Tahibo helps with a lot of different things, but you need some other things also for a healthy diet. I'd like to talk a little about the proper preparation directions for Tahibo tea to be effective. Even though we call it tea, what you're actually preparing when you make it properly is a decoction. A decoction is just a fancy word for what our forefathers used to make when they used to take a root and cook it in order to release its beneficial properties. It's easy, but you don't steep it in hot water like regular leaf tea, but rather cook it like spaghetti. I'll tell you how easy it is to make just so you don't think you'll need a degree in physics, but you don't have to remember any of this because the directions, of course, are on the packages as well as in the literature you automatically receive with your order. You take a pot of water, bring it to a boil. Once the water is boiling, you toss in a tablespoon of tea for every 2 cups of boiling water. Cook it on high for 5 minutes, reduce the heat, and cook on simmer for an additional 15 minutes. Since our tea comes from the only tree in the world the fungus doesn't grow on, you can make a whole big batch, 10 or 20 cups at a time. Leave it in the pot on the stove, and it'll stay good for 4 days without refrigeration. Put it in the fridge, and it'll stay good for 8 days with refrigeration. And you can drink it hot, room temperature, cold, or iced. The tea has a mild, pleasant flavor, kind of halfway between Lipton tea and green tea, but a little bit sweeter than either one of those. Our tea tastes so good that 95% of our customers drink it straight without putting anything else in it. Even teenagers drink it straight. So, you know it must taste pretty good. You can, however, add anything you want to the tea after you prepare it, such as lemon, for example. About the only thing we don't recommend to add to the tea is sugar. Not because it has any contraindications with our tea, but because sugar feeds virtually everything bad in our body, from fungus to diabetes to cancer. The other thing you can do to change the flavor and have some fun while cooking the tea, you can take any old fruit that you have on hand, like an apple, a pear, a peach, mango, whatever it is, slice it up, or take blueberries and crush them up and toss them into the boiling water at the same time you're tossing the tea in and cook it with the tea. You can also take ginger or a cinnamon stick and cook it with the tea. And because the tea naturally has such a mild flavor, you'll immediately change the flavor to the fruit that you're using. This is especially useful when you're giving the tea to a child to drink because an 8-year-old has not acquired a taste for any kind of tea, regardless how mild it tastes. Tahibo tea has no contraindications with any medications, so it can be taken on an empty stomach, a full stomach, with medications or without medications, and with or without other therapies.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
Welcome back to the Tahibo Tea Club radio show. Now, this next segment is a segment with live listener call-ins from previous shows, and you'll be hearing their questions, their successes, and their experiences with Tahibo tea. So please do give us a call and let us know how the tea works for you. Thank you.
Today, we have visiting with us one of our customers, and all of the cases are personal to the people, and because they do involve medicine, we do not release the names of the people. Of course, my father is my father, so you're also welcome to meet him, and you know who he is. But otherwise, unless somebody tells us, please go ahead and broadcast our name. If we're talking about a case, we don't do that. So it's the same thing when you give us a call and you talk about your case, we won't be giving out your name. So we have a customer here that is visiting us today, and she came in a couple of weeks ago and bought the tea for a coworker of hers who I believe had fourth-stage prostate cancer. Can you tell us a little bit about your coworker's prostate cancer?
Yes, his doctor diagnosed him with the fourth stage of prostate cancer approximately 4 months ago, and they have him on chemotherapy. They're giving him 2 shots of chemotherapy twice a month, and his PSA test was off the charts, and he was looking for a remedy to help him to live because the doctors did not give him a good diagnosis about this prostate cancer disease. So I gave him a tea. I bought the tea for him approximately a month ago, and had him to try it. And because he was doing the chemotherapy.
Can you also tell us what symptoms that he had and the effect of chemotherapy?
The symptoms he had was he was really internally, he was feeling very, very sick, and he had a lot of pain internally in his body, in his abdominal region. And he just felt very, very sick and nauseous, and so that's what prompted him to go to the doctor. And the chemotherapy that they started him on, which were the 2 shots a month, were making him very, very sick and nauseous. And so the tea, the Tahibo tea that I gave to him, and he started boiling and drinking, he was up to 3 cups a day that he was able to drink. He just had a appointment with his doctor this week, and he told the doctor that before his pain level was approximately at least 200. That was his level of pain that he was bearing in his body, and it was very painful for him and excruciating. And with the appointment this week, he told his doctor that his pain level is now between 5 and 6. So it has dramatically decreased. So with the pain decreasing, that means his body is becoming more and more well.
Well, that is fantastic. And that's exactly what the tea does. The very first thing that the people notice that are taking the tea for cancer is that the tea gets rid of pain virtually immediately. And when I say virtually immediately, we're talking about anywhere between 1 and 10 days, on average in 5 days. And we're talking about even people with really severe pain who are taking 10 or 20 narcotic pills daily. So we're looking forward to the results of your coworker's appointment from his doctor that I'm sure he'll receive this coming week, because if the pain has been reduced, then the next steps in terms of cancer eradication are also going to be reduced. Now, a lot of times on our cases, we get calls from people that are diagnosed with different types of cancers, and oftentimes they are only given maybe 3 or 4 months to live. And they call us up and say, I realize we're all going to pass away at some point, but, I just need some time to be able to put my kids through school because I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. So if I can just get them through school 10 more years, and then I'll be at peace. Well, I tell you, our prayers are with us, and if you have a moment and you'd like to say a prayer, I'd like to join you in for a prayer to help your coworker and all of the people that are fighting serious diseases.
Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord God, we ask you right now to look on all of those that are sick and afflicted and diseased in their bodies. And we ask you, Lord, to utilize this tea, get the word out to the people that are sick and feeling hopeless, that they don't have any hope to live. We ask, God, that you will allow this tea to be purchased by them and to be utilized by them on a consistent basis, and allow that tea to initiate healing and restoration in their bodies. And we speak and decree that wholeness and wellness will be manifest in every body. And we pray, Lord Jesus, that they will have a testimony to your honor and glory of healing and restoration in their bodies. And we thank you, Lord, for a great move of your Holy Spirit in this earth, God, to proclaim the gospel to these precious souls and to bring them into the saving knowledge of you, Lord Jesus, and save their bodies from metastasizing and from toxification. And we thank you, Lord, for cleaning out the body through this Tahibo tea. In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, thank you very much. We hope to have you visit with us again. And, God willing, the tea will do for your coworker the same as it's done for so many other people.
Another customer called if we knew that dogs prefer our tea over water. We told him we knew dogs liked our tea, but why did he think they preferred it over water? He said he had multiple dogs, one of which was sick. Since he had 3 dogs, he also had 3 water bowls, and he replaced one water bowl with the tea, and that bowl was gone first every day. So, since the dogs were the only ones drinking out of the bowls, uh, it was easy to figure out that the dogs preferred the tea over water. So all you do to get a dog to drink the tea is just swap out the water for the tea, and the dogs will drink it. And if by chance they don't, all you do is put 2 or 3 ice cubes in it, and the dog will think it's dessert, and by tomorrow he'll be asking you for the tea. I have a lot of cases of dogs. One time, a funny incident, we had a lady call in and say she had a friend who had a Chihuahua, and she gave it the tea, and it no longer shed hair anymore. And since she also has a Chihuahua, she gave the tea to me, and now my dog doesn't shed hair anymore. And we'll have to continue the story after we come back from sponsor break. See you in 2 minutes.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
Now, for more information about Tahibo Tea or to order, visit our website, TahiboTeaClub.com. The first word is Tahibo, spelled T-A-H-E-E-B-O. The second word is tea, spelled T-E-A. The third word is club, spelled C-L-U-B, then .com. So the complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com. That's TahiboTeaClub.com. Or call us at our offices in Los Angeles at 818-610-8088. Our Los Angeles office is open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time.
This next segment is live listener call-ins from previous shows.
With regards to her joint pains, the tea will certainly help her. However, in some conditions it helps more, and in some conditions it helps less. So, if her joint pain is caused by rheumatoid arthritis, the tea will completely help her because rheumatoid arthritis is muscle-based. Now, if the joint pain is because of osteoarthritis, the tea will still cut down on the inflammation and reduce the pain. However, the tea will not remedy or fix the bone-on-bone grating that she's having. So if it's a knee joint, at some point she's going to have to get knee replacement surgery if that's what she wants and wants to get rid of that pain completely. Um, but the tea will still help her even if she's got bone on bone by cutting down on the inflammation and uh, and uh, um, and the pain. On the other hand, if it's rheumatoid arthritis, in that case, it'll completely help her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just as a side note, I actually took it for a skin condition that I have, and I've seen tremendous improvement on that. And then I did have a nail that I just thought was funky, and apparently that was like fungus or something. So I've seen clearing up of that happening, and I wasn't even expecting that.
Yeah,
so,
that happens. God bless you, man. That happens all the time. You know, what I mean, people will buy the tea to address one concern, and then to find out they're going, oh, heck, it's fixed this too. And they get all surprised and everything like that. I had this one guy call me up, and he says to me, I couldn't lift my arm, one of my arms, more than parallel to the ground, like 90 degrees. And I said, man, you sound like George Burns when he went to the doctor, and he says to the doctor, my left knee's bothering me, right? And the doctor says to George Burns, he says, what? He says, it's 90 years old. And George says, well, so what? So's my other one. But that's not bothering me. Anyway, he says, yeah, that's what it's like. He says, one arm I could lift up, above my head, and the other arm I couldn't. For no apparent reason, he goes. And I went to doctors, he goes, for 2-3 years. Nobody ever figured it out. And I didn't even buy the tea for that, he says. I bought it for something else, he says. And I started drinking the tea, and he says, I noticed, he says, that, I could start lifting my arm above my head, like my other arm, like I'm going to dunk a basketball, he goes. I'm going, this is truly amazing. And he says, and I never, knew what the cause of it was, and nobody ever figured out what it was. He said, but all I know is once I started drinking the tea, man, now I can lift both arms above my head. So yeah, that's great. When you find things that the tea helps with that you weren't expecting, it's a good surprise.
Yeah, and just as another benefit, like it's not necessarily a brain fog or anything, but I just feel that my mind's sharper after having it too. So just overall health.
Yeah. We get that all the time, where people call up and go, I'd read about wellness and this and that, and I felt pretty good, but he said I really didn't realize what real wellness was until I started drinking your tea, where my body, my brain, everything started feeling just like really good. He goes, I mean, so it's because what the tea does is it helps the body to heal itself, to be doing what it was supposed to be doing in the first place. So from that standpoint, it's a beautiful thing, and you got to drink something anyhow. So it's truly beneficial.
Yeah, but I think it'd be great if you guys could get some more stuff on YouTube or anything, because like when you go look at that, a bunch of other things come up, but it should be like everybody should be going to you all instead of all the other distractions or other things. That way,
right. Yeah, well, we've got a couple of things up on YouTube, but you're absolutely right. We need to get some more up right now, and so we're putting together a staff to actually do that.
Gotcha. Well, whatever we can do to reach out to people that are already there. Need to get people's email addresses too. Tell them to like, share, follow.
You got it. Thank you so much for calling in.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com. Tahebo Tea Club's original Pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TaheeboTeaClub.com. Tahebo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com.
KCAA Loma Linda. The Legacy KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Taylor. Longtime Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein has passed away at the age of 90. Her political career reached the national spotlight in 1978 when she became San Francisco's first ever woman mayor. In 1992, she became the first female U.S. senator in the state of California. Michael Kastner has more.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is honoring the late Feinstein. While speaking on the floor this morning, Schumer called Feinstein one of the most amazing people to ever grace the Senate and the country.
Dianne didn't just push down doors that were closed for women. She held them open for generations of women after her to follow her.
He praised her work on gun control, women's issues, and climate change. He said she was smart, strong, but most of all had amazing integrity. An emotional Senate Republican Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, also praised his late friend. At the White House, correspondent Ali Rafa with a statement from President